What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 131, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and today I am joined by another very special guest co-host. Ethan's still away for a little bit longer, but he is my pop punk brethren, lover of everything Trails, and the host of Carpool Gaming's PlayStation Drive, Matt Sowinski. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, my dude. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to come rock some Xbox talks on XTalk. Yeah, I'm gonna just say I nailed that, and we'll see what goes happen. But yeah, dude, stoked to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy that we can hang out. I was on the Xbox Drive last night with Ryan Turford, so we got a little crossover going. I mean, we've had plenty of crossover before, but the back-to-back crossovers going on. So happy you could be here with us hanging out. If you are new here, we are live every Thursday on YouTube. And if you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service of choice. So while you're over there, please drop us that 5-star review. Spotify, Apple helps us in the algorithm. When you type Xbox, we can be one of the first that pops up. If you want to spur us further and get early access to all Save the Game Media content and exclusive bonus post shows, go on over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Hopple, Amon, Fabulous Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, and the Xbox Expansion Pass. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. But Matt, we got the housekeeping out of the way. So why don't we kick this show off like we do by going around the room and asking one question? That question is, what have you been playing, my friend?
I have been playing a bunch, as you know, and as we've been spoken at length. I'm still in the world of Trails to Azure. I'm in the final chapter. Finally, absolutely adore this game. It's a crime that these games aren't available on Xbox, but I would heavily recommend anybody to go check them out. But yeah, fantastic RPG series. Basically, like Game of Thrones all meets like Persona, all tossed together into this huge continental war where each series takes place on different countries in the same continent. It's a wild time. And then I'm continuing my way through Hi-Fi Rush still haven't been able to finish it. I keep popping in and out. I was trying to play on the Steam Deck through Game Pass, which was working pretty well most of the time until I hit one of the I had to do something that was very, very timing based, and the slight lag just would not line up. And I was just like, I need to do this on the actual Xbox because this is driving me nuts. So
are you on the boss where you have to parry over and over again?
No, it was just like a thing in a level that I was moving through. But like, I guess the timing was so specific, and it was one of those things where it's like you do 1, then you do 2, then you do 3. And it was just like, I'd get through 1 and 2. And then when it hit like 3, I was just like, this isn't working. I have to do this on the actual Xbox. This lag is killing me. And then I also hopped into MLB The Show. Obviously my co-host on the PlayStation Drive port, loves that game to a literal debilitating standard. So I promised him I would hopped in on Series X. The game is really cool. A lot of things that I enjoy, but my God, is it inaccessible for somebody who doesn't know baseball.
Yeah.
The game was yelling at me. They're like, your pitcher's tired. You need to change him. And I was like, I would love to. How do I do this? I don't understand. What do you mean I have to warm them up first? So for someone who's like not at all into sports, I gave it a try. The game is incredibly well made, runs flawlessly on Series X, like absolutely no complaints. Probably not going to go back to it in any way, just because, again, not for me. Great game, it's not for me.
Exactly how I felt about last year's MLB The Show, where I jumped in and I was like, oh, I'll play, and then I played against one of my friends who was more into it, and I think I hit the ball one time, and I was like, I don't understand why I can't hit the ball, and then it was like, I don't know, 9-0, and I was like, well, that was a fun game. I'm not coming back to that.
Yeah, there's like the initial like batting mode that they put you in. You have to like move the cursor to where the ball is anticipated to be on top of timing the swing. And I'm like, I can do one of these things. Which one would you like me to do? Because I cannot do both. I'm trying to watch the ball while also I was like, no, my head is exploding. I need systems and menus in my games for me to be able to take things at a pace that I enjoy. MLB The Show was just not it for me, but that's been pretty much what I've been playing lately. I'm gearing up for Resident Evil 4 Remake. That's next on the list, which I plan to do the little good old Canadian GameStop Platinum Edge card trick, where I'm going to buy it, clear it in a week, and then return it and get Jedi Survivor. So I've been holding off on a remake just because I wanted to time it alongside Survivor. So I'm going to New York for a few days next week. When I get back, you better believe RE4 remake is my next step, dude. But what have you been playing?
Well, first of all, the
Yeah.
Platinum Edge thing isn't a thing in the States here. We don't get that. I think they have a 2-day return policy where if you can play it and beat it in 2 days, you can go get your money back.
So anybody who's in Canada, like I think the Platinum Edge cards cost you like 15 or $20 for the year. It's quite literally nothing. If you get the Platinum one, they literally have a 7-day grace period. 7 days where you can buy any full priced game and then return it to them within 7 days. I did this with Dead Space, and that's like when I picked up Like Dragon Ishin, which I still haven't gotten to because this year has been ridiculous.
Good game. Good game.
I can't wait. But like, yeah, I flew through Dead Space, traded it back in, and I was just like, I would like one Ishin, please. And they're like, what's up? I was like, I was not satisfied with this game. That's all you have to tell them. That's all. That's all they need to know. So yeah, if anybody's in Canada and is looking for a great way to play back-to-back releases, as long as you can clear the initial one within 7 days, go get that Platinum Edge card. I'm telling you, it's worth it. You'll see, like, literally it's buy one, get one free.
Like, yeah, I platinumed it, but nah, not for me.
No.
Here you go. Get money back, please.
Exactly. They don't need to know
That's
that.
awesome. That's awesome. We get the Pro Rewards membership, which you get a $5 off coupon every month, and that's it. That's like your big, and it's the same cost as those cards you're talking about. So
yeah,
basically the same thing.
Pretty much. I've been using this system for years, and they still haven't like patched it. There's been no patch notes to fix GameStop's broken Platinum Edge card in Canada. Get on it now before they realize it. Maybe I should stop talking about it because maybe I'm causing a problem. GameStop Canada, if you're listening, I don't do that.
No,
I don't do that.
Never.
No, I only do that if I'm truly dissatisfied with the game. If it's not for me, that's the only time I do that. I promise. Scout's honor.
I've never liked any game.
No, I hate video games.
Oh, well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you're getting some. I can't wait for you to finish Trails to Azure. First of all, like, oh man, it's so exciting. That leads me into what I've been playing. Cold Steel 4.
Yes, you have.
I've literally been chronologing this as we go through these podcasts week by week. I was like, last week I finished Cold Steel 3. Now this week I finished Cold Steel 4. Like, I have been a man on a mission the last month and a half, and we're done. You know,
dude, at this rate you can finish Sky before we get into Reverie. Like, might as well at this point.
You know what's funny is Marcus O'Neill in the Discord was talking. He's like, "Oh, you gonna go do the Sky this week?" And I'm like, "All 3 of them?" He's like, "Yeah, why not?" And I was like, "I think I was gonna take a little break." And he's like, "You could do it." And I booted up Trails in the Sky, and I was like, "How do you do turbo mode? What's going on here?" I played it for like 5 minutes, and I got my butt handed to me, and I was like, "What's going on? Like, what's happening here? Why is by like random mobs like in the world, like I literally have only made it to the first town, and I've done my like bracer exam, whatever, like the initial one, and then they were like, go to this path, and the monsters were destroying me, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong here? I might just restart because I put like 50 minutes into it like in December, and I just don't know what's going on at this point. So like I might as well just restart.
You might as well. And at this point, like using the turbo mode and stuff, you're gonna be finished those games in like 7 minutes, knowing how you play games, and being unemployed. That's a good combo for you to be able to finish these very quickly. But yeah, dude, like, I mean, why not at this point? You might as well complete everything. I think the only one that I'm missing, like Cold Steel 4, I need to get to. I haven't played Trails in the Sky the third, just because that one's quite different. Like, that one isn't directly linked because you have different pro tags and stuff.
It's not Estelle and Joshua.
It's not Estelle and Joshua, no. But it is a character that you are familiar with.
I think I can tell from the box art who I didn't know that they were like the main character though.
And it's someone you share a namesake with.
It's true. Pretty cool.
Pretty much you. It's pretty much you.
Oh,
might as well.
Yeah, I hear it's another epilogue, just like Reverie, but I think I am gonna chill on Trails until Reverie comes out.
I don't believe you.
Well, here's the thing. Cold Steel 4 was it was a good experience. I put out my rankings of the ones I played so far, and it's probably my least favorite Cold Steel game.
Okay.
just because of the way it starts and the pacing at the beginning. And when you play it, you're going to be like, wow, this reminds me of another Trails game that I've played. And you'll know what I mean as soon as you start playing. Like the gameplay loop is very much similar. Like how
Yeah,
3
yeah.
was similar to 1, this is going to be similar to another in the Trails series. That's all
Okay.
I'll say. So you'll get it up. I like the story. But it just it fell short in a few other areas for me, which
Okay.
is basically where I'm at. But great game. I do want to talk about because the reason I'm not jumping into Sky. I also beat the Quarry this week. I don't know if you've
Nice.
played the Quarry yet.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
So this was a game where it came to PS Plus, and my girlfriend, who isn't a super big gamer, she'll play like we played all the Kirby games together on Switch. We'll play these types of games, these more cinematic, choose your own adventure, super massive games. Basically, is what we're going for. And what we did was I had the controller the entire time, and she just picked what we did.
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to like walk around or like actually have any of the QTEs and like actually like kill a character. So I did all that. And we got through with basically almost no deaths. According to the IGN walkthrough, we got the best ending you can get in the game.
Nice.
So I was like, I don't know. It's funny because I've played a few by myself, and almost every character dies every single time I play them by
So
myself.
definitively, your partner makes the better choices than you do.
in life or death situations, she's is the one you want to listen
as long as
to.
she has time to think about it, because the QTEs are not for her. You're going to be the one like, swatting flies out of the way or like throwing things at the murderer, and she's going to be like, we're going this way, or throw the cup, and you're going to be like, yeah, good idea, babe.
Yeah. I don't want to say I don't love the Quarry. I think it's better than some of the supermassive games that they've put out, but it wasn't my favorite that I've played from them, which is surprising because people were talking about it like it was a return to form, like the Until Dawn. But I didn't think that.
I don't think it was as good as Until Dawn, but I do think it scratched the same itch a lot of the way, like in a lot of the ways. Like the only ones out of the Dark Pictures anthology that I really gave, like I played Man of Medan, which was cool, but I like from what I heard, a lot of the middle chapters up until I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the one that in the desert was the one that was finally like really praised, just because they're kind of more soloed and siloed experiences. The Quarry was the first one that I really played since Man of Medan, and I have a group of friends that we did the same thing with Until Dawn. We got together, like basically ordered a bunch of food, grabbed a bunch of alcohol, and basically like bunkered in for a night to do the entire thing in one sitting, and we really enjoyed it. But again, I do think that part of that is the company that I had, and like we each basically took a couple characters and tried to keep them alive, or tried to mess each other over as we were doing this. So I can imagine that, like, removing a lot of that, I feel a little bit differently, but I do think it was good. I just don't think it was as good as Until Dawn.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And I don't know if they'll ever hit those Until Dawn heights again. I would love to see them. I know their next one is like a sci-fi space adventure, so I'm excited for that because I do like me some space horror. But I'm gonna keep playing them. I don't buy that. I just always wait for them to come to like Game Pass, PS Plus, and that's so it's because they're like 4-hour experiences, right? Like they're very short. Although this one I think was like 8 for us. So good time if you're looking for those type of games. But Matt, have you heard of a game called Clive and Wrench?
Why do I think so? Hold on. That name is ringing a bell. It is I think I've seen this on Twitter, but I know next to nothing about it. Please continue? Question mark?
If you think, wow, that sounds a lot like Ratchet and Clank, you be correct, because this is very much a 3D platformer. It's a more old school. It's a collectathon where you get like a hub world. You go into different areas and you have to collect all this stuff and then beat a boss.
This thing looks like it would try to teach me something.
It is very like cutesy, like educational looking. I get that vibe from it. It was made, I think, by one person.
Okay.
It's very much a indie game, and it is very much not well received critically. I think it's sitting at like a 50 something on OpenCritic.
50 flat on Metacritic.
Okay, yeah. See, I gotta tell you, man, I'm having a great time with this game.
Really?
This is a Kevin game through and through, where I just love 3D platforming collectathons. Like
Fair.
that is something I've always loved. I loved ukulele. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I played Hell Pie earlier this year, which is another of those. Hell Pie. is what
Hell pie.
Hell Pie. Yes, yes, yes. Um, and I would have got the platinum in that if some of the trophies weren't bugged. So I'm hoping there's no bug trophies in this one because I'm on my way to 100%ing it because they're very easy worlds to go through. It's just fun. It's like it's a monkey on your back. You're a rabbit, and like you'll spin the monkey through the air to glide. You'll use him as a weapon. Like it's the silliest thing. The story's nonsense. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just there for literally like hopping on stuff and collecting these little watches.
Dude, sometimes you just need something to scratch that itch. Like I feel like everybody has like a comfort genre that they like to sit in. So I totally get that. Like if the collectathons are your thing, my dude, then I hope Clive and Wrench is scratching that itch for you.
I always play these types of games after like JRPGs. I feel like they're a nice palate cleanser because they're usually like 8 hours maximum. And then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I don't have to worry about like giant text dialogue or side quests or any of that. It's just like I'm gonna refresh and then go into reverie.
Yeah, it's just
That's
like
basically
a
what
serotonin scratcher. It's just something like I see the thing, I want to get the thing, I'm gonna get the thing. That's all I need to
Mhm.
worry about.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, dude. That's great.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk about, which I'm surprised you didn't bring up, maybe you haven't jumped into it yet. Mega Man Battle Network collection.
So I ordered it. I was planning on picking it up because I was in the States last week for work. I was planning on picking it up. Every GameStop or Target I went to was sold out
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, all right, fine. So I literally just ordered it on Amazon and it's coming tomorrow. So I'm excited to hop back into that world.
Okay.
I
Okay.
cannot wait. But tell me,
That
okay, hold on. Have you played them before?
yes.
Okay,
I've
okay,
played
go
some of
on.
that. I haven't played all of them. The later ones I haven't played. So I think I played the first three. So
Okay.
like I'm missing the later ones. It makes sense because I saw Wario64 tweet out on Twitter. It's like Mega Man Battle Network collection for Switch available at GameStop, and then in parentheses sold out everywhere else. And I was like,
Yep.
what's going on? Did they not make enough of these?
No, please sell out everywhere. Give me 7. Give me Battle Network 7 for the love of God. Do like a 20-year time skip. Give me
Mhm.
anyways, go on.
Yeah. So my brother blitzed through the first one. He messaged me when I was finishing Cold Sea. He was like, number one done, 7 hours, rolled credits. I'm like, okay, great. Like, so what I've been doing is one boss a night is really where I'm at.
Okay.
So I'll play 30 minutes to an hour sometimes with Mega Man Battle Network 1, get through a boss and be like, okay, I'm gonna take this slow because I have played them before, and there's
Mhm.
like these other new games that I'm playing right now that I kind of want to spend more time with.
Mhm.
These ones are just like little downtime nostalgia, feel good. I will get to the ones I haven't played, but there's no rush because the collection is just going to sit on my PS5 and I'm going to go through them at my own pace. I will say, I think the game holds up quite well. I
Does
don't
it?
think it's just nostalgia. I think the battle system is just a good system. The whole
Yes, it is.
choosing the chips and fighting the little grids you got, it's just a good system. And then the one critique I have so far is the random encounter rate is incredibly high. It is absurd at some points,
Mhm.
but I can look past that because they've added the Buster Max mode where you
Yep.
can turn it on at any time and then just one shot all the random mobs basically, which is great for when you have to backtrack through areas or you're just like I just want to get to the boss or whatever. Like they make it very accessible. They made it so it's not gonna take like a crazy amount of time to get through these games if you are just looking to like re-experience the story that you saw as a child. So another series I'm bummed for some reason isn't on Xbox. Every other collection, but not on Xbox.
It's weird, dude. Like I don't know why they'd hold it back, especially given, those games came up on Game Boy, so I don't know if you're already bringing it to PlayStation. I don't know why you wouldn't just do Xbox as well. But I'm glad to hear that the first one holds up because when I tried to hop back into one probably about 3 or 4 years ago, um or when I played one originally, like I played it, I think after like 3 or 4, because I started with Battle Network 3, and
Mm,
it's like going back was rough. So maybe it was
hmm
just because the game, similar to like I would even say something like Uncharted, gets monumentally between 1 and 3. The steps that the games takes in terms of storytelling, in terms of boss battles, in terms of like just general quality of life, is massive. And like, yeah, the Mega Buster was broken in the first game. Like you would just mow through enemies. So like, I'm
I've
glad to hear that the first one holds up.
I've heard my brother, he says Battle Network 2 is such an improvement over 1. It's crazy. Like he's like, I think 1 holds up, but 2 is like ridiculous. The just the improvements they make in 2 compared to 1. So I will say I'm using a guide at some points
Mhm.
because it does have a very old school JRPG mentality where it's like you want me to search every nook and cranny of this town to find the one random person I'm supposed to talk to. That was like, how am I meant to know this? Like it's weird. It's very that old school design. So there are times where I have a guide on hand and I'll pop it up when I'm like lost and I'm like, I literally don't know where to go.
Yeah, I hit a wall with games like that, especially because the game is like what 20 years old at this point.
Hmm.
Like I hit a wall with those sometimes too. I'm like, I just want to find the thing. I
Yeah.
just want to find the thing and progress. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to hear what you think as you kind of progress through. Because I do think that like 1 and 2 are like the most classic. Once you get into three is just fantastic. And then 4, 5, and 6 all have something very unique about them that makes each one like a completely different experience. And they're all great. I really genuinely love all of them. So I hope that this thing continues to sell really well. And I hope that this
Hmm.
is an indication that we get like Battle Network, 20 years later. Give me Persona Battle Network.
Give
That's
me a
what I want.
modern one. Give me a
Yeah.
modern one. You can listen. You can just update like the battle system works. Okay,
Yep.
you don't really need to change that. Just improve everything else. Like make the town and the characters, like the models and everything. Like make that today's standards, and then
Well,
we're good.
I would love to see like a 2D HD version of
Oh,
that. You know what
okay.
I mean? Like give me like Octopath. Like that's what I want. I don't need like 3D upgraded graphics because I do think there's something really charming about that. But give me, confidence. Let me get close to some of the other people. Let me get close to their navies. Tell a big grandiose story because like Battle Network gets pretty dark and messed up at
Mm.
times. Like it doesn't really pull its punches when it gets to some of the different materials. So yeah, I think you're right. I wouldn't need a graphical overhaul. I think that artwork is timeless, but like blow it up, make it awesome. Like just give me a bunch of the systems that we have now, um, and just let me go exist in that world again because I want it. I want it so
I
badly.
I wish it could be full screen because when you're
Yeah.
playing, you have like the little you can change your border and then it's like you're playing on this little and that's my only thing. I'm like, I wish I could just blow this up and do a big
Mhm.
full screen and but it would probably mess up everything. Like if you did that, the resolution. But yeah, enjoying it, excited to play more. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Ghostly March. Yes, let me bond with a roll.
Yes, exactly. Let me hang out with Roll and I can never remember how to pronounce her name. Mayl. I think it's Malu. I think it's Malu, but I can't remember. But yeah, let me hang
I
out with
don't
them.
remember. Yeah, I listen. It's funny because I thought you meant for LAN, like bonds with LAN, and you're talking bonds for Mega Man.
Both. Give me
Both.
both. Like if Lane can date someone and Mega Man can date somebody else, I'm all good with that.
Mm, can you do you have to date their Navi though?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm not. But I mean, Lan and Melu and Roll and Mega Man are the only canon. Those are the only ships that matter anyway. So,
I want to play as the bad guy.
what's his name? Showed
No, I meant,
Dr. Wily.
no, yeah, Dr. Wiley. I want to play as Dr. Wiley. Yeah, no, oh man, oh those games are so good. Bring them to
Hmm.
Xbox, Capcom. You bring everything else. The Zero Collection, which I still have to get. I like the Zero games a lot.
Yeah.
So. All right, we can go into the news. And fair warning, everyone, it's a pretty light news week in the Xbox world. We're not acquiring studios like PlayStation is. Okay, we're trying. Apparently, the FTC won't let us. But let's go to story number 1, and it's your Game Pass update. So available right now, we have Minecraft Legends. We also have Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly for Cloud Console PC. We have Medieval Dynasty for Xbox One. Tomorrow, April 21st, you get Homestead Arcana for Cloud PC and Xbox Series X and S. April 26th, you get Cassette Beasts for PC. April 27th, you get Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition for Cloud Console PC. And The Last Case of Benedict Fox for console and PC. May 2nd, you get Redfall for Cloud PC and Xbox Series X and S. Matt, any of those games piquing your interest?
So I've heard a lot of good things about Coffee Talk. So I'd be curious to check that one out. Obviously, Redfall is like the big one that everybody's waiting on at this point. I am curious to check out what was it, the last case of Benedict Fox? Correct me on like the game does look pretty cool, along with Cassette Beast. Just has such a cool art style. So I do think that there's some cool standouts in this. I have no idea what Homestead Arcana is, but that artwork looks gorgeous. So I do think this is a pretty solid list. What about you, dude? Any of these jump out at you?
Yeah, so I know a lot of people, Seth Sturgill, shout out Seth, thanks you for coming. He says coffee talk for sure. Isn't one for me, but I know a lot of people, and Ethan, my normal co-host here, loves Coffee Talk 1, so he's been excited for this for a while. It's like a visual novel dating coffee making game. I'm honestly not for me, but I know people are going to love it. Homestead Arcana was at the ID at Xbox Showcase a few weeks ago, and it was one that really popped off. It's very colorful. It was giving me like you make alchemy stuff, like you have your own little, you go out, collect the ingredients. It's that kind of game. It looked like a cozy game. I might be completely wrong about that, but the trailer gave me those kind of vibes. Cassette Beasts, I think, looks awesome. I'm sad it's not just on PC, or it's only on PC right now. It's not coming to Xbox for a little bit still, because this is like a Pokemon type game where you like collect cassette beasts and then you battle them turn based. Art style looks really cool. I'm excited for this one to finally come to Xbox, but I'm gonna hold out for now. Redfall, obviously, I'm going to play. I'm looking forward to that. Even with 30 FPS, people, I'm going to jump in with my friends, co-op, play some Redfall. Maybe it'll be good. I haven't liked an Arcane game yet, so
Really,
yeah, they haven't been for me. They haven't been for me.
Fair.
I know my brother's a big Dishonored guy. He didn't like Deathloop. Oh, I shouldn't say. I played some of Prey, and I liked it to a certain point, but then it got too hard for me, and I pieced out of there. So hopefully Redfall's good. But Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition is really the one I got my eye on. It's one of those anime fighters, and it has characters from Persona in it.
I was about
It's
to say.
crossover. I played Persona 4 Arena Ultimax last year when that came to PC. So I'm just wanting to hop into this. I wish my fight stick down there worked on my Xbox, but it doesn't. It's a PC and Switch only.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of annoying because I would love to play it on that. Because it was funny because I tried out my fight stick after I won it at Extra Life, and the first game I went to was Ultimax, and I was like, it's so much easier. Like everything is so much easier when you can just hit the buttons, and I don't have to. I did try Skullgirls too, and I suck at that game. I literally could not play that game at all. Oh man, Seth, I thought they were 11.
Yeah, that's why I said I was pitching a sequel like 20 years later. Yeah, I wasn't trying to like introduce that into the current games. I was saying, give me a sequel like 20 years later when they're adults. Yeah, let's clarify that right now.
This is it's 2 times, because last week I told Seth about how I picked Laura throughout all the Cold Steel games, and I was like, yeah, you start in like high school, but then they become like 20-year-olds, so it's all on the up and up. Like, it's all good.
Yep. That's that.
Oh man, yeah. So lots of good games coming to Xbox Game Pass to look forward to for the end of the month, and then I know we also get Ravenlock on May 4th, which they didn't put in here, so I'm looking forward to that one. Nice little hack and slash game. Looks really cool.
That game looks awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that one as well.
Even though I said it was from Coco Melon last night, and it's Coco Cucumber. Apparently, Coco Melon is a completely different thing.
Yeah, isn't that like a bubble tea place, or am I making that up?
It's like a
it's like a kids. Yes.
Yeah,
okay. Now I was like, I used to play some of these videos for when I taught in Korea, and I was like, why does it sound so familiar? Yeah, Coco Melon.
All right.
Not the vibe.
No, not the vibe. No, what's going on? We can move into story number 2, Matt, and this one, Square Enix has signed a strategic partnership with Elixir Games. Square Enix and Elixir Games, the leading Web3 gaming distribution platform, have entered a strategic partnership focused on generating visibility and adoption of Web3 games among traditional gamers. This partnership will allow millions of gamers to explore quality Web3 games through a platform that hides Web3 technology under the hood and offers a simple, seamless experience to the traditional gamer. How are you feeling, Matt?
Just stop. Just give up. Give up. Like, the only way that any of these Web3 based games are going to get adopted is by potentially marketing to kids. If we keep focusing on the children in this episode, I guess. But like, that's the only way that this stands a bat's chance in hell in being remotely successful. There's no way that anybody who plays games normally is going to hop into any of this. Everybody can see how garbage this entire thing is. The entire industry has given up on NFTs except for Square Enix for whatever reason. And it's just like, just stop. Put your money literally anywhere else. I would rather them give us a solid single player story and make a multiplayer mode to it that has microtransactions to hell and back. Fine, I understand. I get it. Make your money. But like, come on. Just enough. Why? Kevin, why? Kevin, please don't tell me you're excited about this.
No,
Oh,
I
thank
don't.
God.
I think I tweeted out just a GIF going boo. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't understand. Oh, listen, I understand NFTs, but I don't understand them. If you know, like, what is their purpose? No one has been able to tell me what actual use these things would have in society. They are worthless. The crypto and the blockchain, I'm sick of hearing about it, and I was glad that a lot of the companies like pieced out of this, except Square Enix, who are like, here's our trailer. I use that word loosely for Symbiogenesis or whatever that NFT game they're putting out is, which wasn't even a trailer. It was like a map and things expanding on it. I was like, is this a game? Like, what's going on here? I honestly don't know why they're persisting despite all the backlash. Like, they clearly see everyone attacking them, being like, please don't do this. This isn't what we want from you. I would rather have Forspoken 2 than this, but literally anything is better than what they're doing currently. I don't know what Elixir Games is. The idea that they're going to hide Web3 technology under the hood, you sound like a scam.
Right? It
You put
sounds
that
like a
in a
grift.
press release.
Yeah. And it's like, don't worry, guys. I know you have to go to this back alley to buy this game. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, but don't worry about it.
I just, what is it going to do? Like, first of all, Web3, I don't know what, that sounds so shady. It's like a back alley on the internet. Like, what's
That's what I'm
going on
saying.
here? I'm confused. I'm angry. I don't want this. Square Enix is constantly like, they ignore the Xbox platform as it is, which is not winning them any points, myself or the community. But now they're doing crap like this, and it's like, we need games. Square, just stick to what you're good at. Final Fantasy 16 looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you got to do this?
And it's like, I thought there was a shred of hope when they recently switched presidents. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this last president was sipping the Kool-Aid. He was riding that, he was stuffing Web3 in all of his stockings. And I was like, okay, we see where this is going. And then he was replaced and we got a new president. I was like, okay, here we go. I'm waiting for the statement where he's like, forget all of that noise. And then he's like, no, by the way, we're doubling down. And it's like,
Yeah.
why? Just focus on bringing these games to Xbox instead of hiding Web3 under the car hood and doing whatever it is that they're doing with all this stuff. Like, just they're going to fail miserably with this, and then we'll see what happens next, because there's no chance this is going to work.
I would love if the only games they bring to Xbox going forward are these games. just like a cruel, sick joke.
Can't spell Microsoft without NFT.
I don't have. I can't. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. Oh my god, Square do better. That's all I have to say.
Like, much better, please.
Yeah. Lastly, we're ending with a rumor, because according to a Spanish Xbox insider, I use that air quotes, okay, who has previously leaked images of Kojima's Overdose project, among other things. He says Tango Gameworks is currently working on a JRPG based on a new IP and not the Evil Within 3, despite being heavily rumored after a lot of Easter eggs within Hi-Fi Rush. So, how would you like to see a Tango Gameworks JRPG there, Matt?
Listen, I think this studio has been pretty consistently good to great. I haven't played Evil Within 1 and 2. I'm not usually much for horror, but I understand that people really, really like them. Ghostwire Tokyo, I did enjoy. Was it a perfect game? By no stretch of the imagination, but I liked what was there. And obviously, with them stealth launching Hi-Fi Rush, like that was a huge success. People popped off on that game. I know there's no end in Microsoft; it's part of it. But like, I think that this studio has shown a pretty great versatility to the genres that they can play in. So for if they are making a more classic JRPG or whatever it is that they're doing with it, I'd be very curious to see what that is. And obviously, they're able to handle development on multiple games. I mean, Ghostwire just came out last year, and obviously we got Hi-Fi this year, so they're very capable of juggling multiple projects across multiple teams. I don't see why this would mean that Evil Within 3 isn't also being worked on. I would be shocked. I would kind of assume that it's both of them. But I'm stoked to see if this is real. I'm stoked to see what this is. Obviously, JRPGs are like my favorite genre, so I'm always curious to see a different take on it from somebody who hasn't worked in the space before. But what do you think, dude? Would you be excited about whatever it is that Tango might be working on if it's a JRPG?
If you had asked me 2 years ago, I've been like, no, not really. But I liked Ghostwire and
Mhm,
I loved Hi-Fi Rush. Like
mhm,
they have won me over as a fan of this studio, and I'm glad that they were very much they said this when Hi-Fi Rush came out. We don't want to be the horror studio. We don't want to be
yeah,
pigeonholed to being a horror studio. And then Hi-Fi Rush got, I think it's sitting at like a 90 on Open Critic or whatever. So it's got done well financially and critically. So I'm all for them doing whatever they want. If they think they can make a JRPG, do it. I fully believe in Tango Gameworks that their studio is just won me over, man. Like I cannot stress that enough how elevated they are in my eyes right now after their
mhm,
last two games. The Within wasn't really for me. That wasn't my type of vibe. I know people that love those games, and the Evil Within 3 I could see happening. It seems like they want to go back to it at some point based on those Easter eggs in Hi-Fi Rush, but
mhm.
give me a JRPG, a genre that Xbox sorely needs, especially from first party. They have no one else doing anything like that. So that would be awesome.
So let me ask you this then, because obviously within the realm of JRPG, we have a lot of different areas of it. Would you want them to make like an action RPG a la what Final Fantasy 16 is looking like? Kind of, almost taking some of their combat systems from Hi-Fi Rush and moving it over and kind of, layering on the RPG? Or do you want like a turn-based, possibly, whether that's, more Trails like or more classic Final Fantasy? What kind of battle system would you want out of them in this rumored game? Because there's a lot of different directions they could go.
If if it was me, I would want a turn-based JRPG. I would want
Mhm,
them to lean into that and be like, we're committing. We're going to show the Xbox audience that these games are something you should pay attention to because we all clamor for them, like Persona, to come over, and then people don't play them, they don't buy them. The amount of people I see who are like, oh, I downloaded Persona, and then they don't even get the achievement for getting Arsene. I'm like, we're all
what are
asking
you
for these
doing?
games, but
Yeah.
nobody's showing up. All right, like we I try to support. All right, I'm doing my best over here. I got like a dragon Ishin on Xbox. All right, so we're we can only do so much. So I would like to see them really go for that. What I think is more likely is they take the action-based combat from Hi-Fi Rush and make an action JRPG similar to the combat and maybe like Devil May Cry,
Mhm.
something like that. Which I'm sure can be cool. Final Fantasy 16 is doing something similar, trying to appeal to a mass audience. So I get why they would want to do that, but if it was me, I would say double down, show them the magic of turn base.
I'm with you entirely. I think that like we have enough in the action RPG space that can kind of work. I would love to see their take on some on however they would like to spin, turn-based combat, whether that is something more along the lines of Trails, whether that is something more along the lines of Persona, however they kind of want to mess with it. I would love to see that kind of system shine on Xbox just because, like you mentioned, there isn't a lot of new turn-based on Xbox. We get a lot of stuff on Game Pass. We got a lot of indie stuff. We got a lot of games like finally Persona making their way over, which is fantastic. But I want to see something that I'm like, that is a reason why I need to play that game on Xbox. Like, show me that. Show me
Mhm.
that with whatever this is going to be, because I do think that that space is sorely missed on Xbox, and I'd love to see that there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I fully agree. I'm hopefully that's actually what they're working on. We'll see. Probably a few years away though. I don't know if
Yep.
we see it anytime soon. So that's all the news we have for this week, Matt. But we got a few listener questions. So if you want to write into the show, you can do so by tweeting at us at Save Game Media over on Twitter, or join the Discord. The link is down below. I put out a thread every single week, and you can submit your questions for the show, just like it's Kyle did, who asked two questions. He says, one, should Xbox do a fan fest like Nintendo is?
I think so. I mean, I'm all for any like I'm all for PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox all doing this. A way to kind of celebrate with your community. Like I keep asking PlayStation to bring their big one back.
Hmm.
And it's just like any of these, like let people get in, let them try new games. That was something of the magic of like the, the packs and your E3s. Let the community celebrate with each other, right? Let people make meaningful connections. I think it would be awesome if they did something similar. I genuinely do not see a downside to doing it, Kevin, but am I off base?
No, it obviously costs money to put those things on,
Mhm.
but I think these events should just be written off every year as something to hold and not worry about making money from it. Just hold
Mhm.
something for your fans to be like, this is an event for you to celebrate our games, because that marketing is, you can't quantify that marketing, right? Like that's
Mhm.
not you can't put a number on that. It'll probably cost you a few $1 million, but you don't know how much it's going to return to you in the long run. And for seeing things like that, I know Xbox has done fan fests before E3 and stuff like that. I don't know if they're doing it this year. Obviously, they have their showcase and then the Starfield Direct on the 11th of June. And normally there would be an Xbox Fan Fest before that, but they haven't said anything about that happening this year. So I don't know if it is. My ooh, Matt, you're smiling. Do you know something, or
Just
are you
I
reading?
know I just saw Seth in the chat and it cracked me up.
Oh, what's he? Do something to make no money. Truly unemployed.
That just
Well
caught
done.
me off guard. Well done,
Well
Seth.
done, sir. Well done. No, but listen, Nintendo is obviously doing one in Seattle, which
Mhm.
I see people hyping up like, oh, we're gonna get a new announcement for their next hardware, and I'm like, I don't know if it's that kind of like when I saw it, I thought it was just a celebration. I didn't know if it was like a showcase.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is real, because obviously rumors are flying once again. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an announcement beforehand and maybe you can try it there
Mm, that would
before
be
pre-release.
amazing.
Which again, like these are great vessels to do that kind of stuff. Sell people on games they would not usually be part of. Get people stoked on the community. But like it's such an easy thing for people to buy into. That like yeah, like you said, like just do it. Just do it and let people
Just do it.
engage.
Yeah. There's no downside, only positives. Second part of this question, he says, what Game Pass monthly rewards do you think would be cool to see? Like how they give you free Fall Guys outfits or Fancy Star Online boosters. Ooh, this one's hard for me because I never claim any of them.
Me neither.
Mm,
Um, I don't know if they already do. Like, I'd be shocked if they don't do Fortnite stuff. Like, that seems like an easy win,
I don't know if they do Fortnite stuff. I know they
right?
do
Like,
Halo stuff.
yeah. Which I mean,
I'm gonna
it's
be
cool.
honest. My my favorite Game Pass reward stuff are when it's like 3 months trial to like Apple TV or like
Yep.
other stuff that isn't games related. Because it's
Yep.
just like it's okay, now I can go watch Ted Lasso without paying for it.
There you go. Yeah. No, I wouldn't be. I like. I think. Yeah. I don't. I don't know. Maybe like I don't know if they're already doing like free months of like Ultimate and stuff like that. If there's a way to kind of rope all that in, but I don't know. I don't like you. I don't really engage with it too much.
Hmm. Well, we can move into our last question then. It comes from Luke Lore over the Xbox Expansion Pass. He said, yesterday, Kevin shared his rankings of the Halo franchise. When playing games from a franchise or series, what do you look for versus one another or versus a one of experience? Sorry, when
One off,
playing,
maybe.
yeah, when playing games from a franchise or series, what do you look for versus a one off experience?
Yeah, so like
Possibly.
what are you looking for between sequels versus a game that exists by itself?
Okay, yeah, that makes more
You know what I
sense.
mean?
I
Yeah.
got what I felt like he was trying to ask, like, I thought he was saying, like, how do you rank, like, how do you decide which one's better in a series? you know?
Yeah. So he
Yeah,
is
okay.
asking that versus like something that only has a single game, right?
Okay.
Like how if let's say Jedi Survivor never existed, how would you rank?
Mm,
How would you like Fallen Order versus something else versus Halo 1 versus 2 versus 3?
okay.
You know what I
All
mean?
right. Yeah, before we answer this, Seth Sturgill, sorry, can we get Matt's quick and haphazard Halo ranking?
Okay. All right, hold on. I'm gonna say, let me just scribble down here because I haven't played five, so
Okay.
that's gonna be at the bottom of my list just because I haven't played it. Okay.
Mhm.
Then I would say four.
Good man. Good man.
Then I would say one, just because in terms of aging, I
Okay.
feel. Then I would put Infinite just above that because I do think it was really fun. Then I would do ODST. Then I would
Mm.
do three. Then I would do two. Oh, I forgot Reach. I'd put Reach. Let's put Reach like kind of just above Infinite, just below ODST.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm glad you, me, and Seth all agree Halo 2 is the best
Yep.
Halo
Hmm.
because it undoubtedly is. I had Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo Infinite, Halo Reach, Halo ODS, no, Halo 5, ODST, then 4, I think.
Okay.
I had 4 last. Luke, Halo 4 is bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't.
You,
I
Logan,
no.
Sean. Apparently, Ryan tells me Sean loves Halo 4 as well. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Fire alarm. Matt is burning everyone. So I'll answer the question while Matt tries not to die. Anyway, so what do I look for when I'm playing things in a franchise? I don't look for ridiculous changes throughout the series because that's not what I want. I fall in love with the game for a reason, and if you steer too far away from that, it's not what I want. So I look specifically just for slight improvements, maybe an addition to a battle system or a new mechanic that improves on something that was previously set up. So that's really what I look for. I mainly rank games based on story, though, is
Hmm.
really where, like, if you didn't change anything, I would probably be fine with it as long as you improve. Like, the story is really what matters to me when I'm playing video games. So, like when I ranked Halo 4 is at the bottom for me because I don't like the story at all, and the mechanics are bad. I don't like the change in the multiplayer mechanics. It didn't work for me. And then Halo 5, you get a little less of that. It's more fluid and kind of Call of Duty-ish, but like not as much as for um yeah, that's what I look for in terms of those things. Are you done burning, Matt?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's okay. Just just burnt a little bit. No, I think I'm with you entirely. Story kind of ranks king for me alongside quality of life improvements, and I do like it because let's talk about Battle Network for a second. 4 to 5 to 6 have some pretty wildly different gameplay mechanics that they're literally in that game, and then they're not brought up again later. So I think I think ambition is something that is important. Seeing something like The Last of Us Part 1 to Part 2, I do think Part 2 is a much more ambitious endeavor with some of the things that they try to do with story, the things that they attempt to do here or there. And I know that lands differently for people,
Mm-hmm.
but I appreciate that. Something like even let's use God of War to God of War Ragnarok. I wouldn't call that a very ambitious sequel because I don't think it's they're doing things wildly different, but it builds on what was already there in a really satisfying way. So I think one-offs are kind of live in their own category because that's all you have. That can be good, that can be bad. That there's nothing really to inherently compare it to within the same kind of section, but they kind of live and breathe based on their own merits. I do love a series just because, again, you can see what kind of builds on from what came before, things that can
Mm-hmm.
tie back. There's a lot of things that can pull on you. It's one of the reasons that you and I have bonded so much over the Trail series is because they're doing different things in different places and it all narratively kind of, builds on one another. So I think when you're comparing sequels or comparing things in a series, it has to be story and gameplay first and see how that's changed or how that's grown or how that's adapted because how often do we talk about the initial game of a series and then be like, it was good. We can't wait to see how they can change this or do better in two. That room
Yeah.
for growth is important. And I do think part of that needs to be accounted for.
Ghostly March in the chat brings up a good point. He says, counterpoint, Fantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2 versus Fantasy Star Online episode 3. Both great games, but incredibly different. So for anyone that doesn't know, the first two Fantasy Star Online games were more of a action JRPG. And then Fantasy Star Online episode 3 is a deck building turn-based card game, which I still love. I think all the games are great, but I do think obviously I hold 1 and 2 in a higher regard because I feel like they were the pinnacle, and 3 is good, but it's different. It's different for sure. You don't go like people that bought 3 were disappointed because they wanted more of 1 and 2 and they didn't get that. So I completely understand when people buy into a series and then it changes completely. So um Ghostly March talking about The Last of Us. Yeah, it was really ambitious to go from a game with bad gameplay but a good story in The Last of Us 1 to one of the worst stories but decent gameplay in The Last of Us 2. Yes, I'm well aware of your feelings on The Last of Us. I haven't played Last of Us 2, but I have no opinions on it. I think that this was a good question. I know, like, if you take my favorite series, for example, the Tales of series, you, I've just been monologuing, Matt. We're all good.
Apologies.
No, you're all good. I was just saying, if you take my favorite series, the Tales of series, and you see how those have changed over the years, they always they keep the core of what makes a Tales game a Tales game. And
Mhm.
that is what's most important. The battle system has changed, but it hasn't. They've shifted like perspective and area, like they've gone from 2D to 3D, but in essence, you're still making combos with the same arts. They've kept the same thing going on. So it's improving or changing slightly, but it's not going so far away. And I think I put if we're talking about Halo, I think I put ODST so low because it isn't what I don't want to be a human. I want to be Master Chief
Mhm.
or the Arbiter. I want to be these people with like otherworldly strength instead of like, oh my God, I'm so scared because the Covenant are gonna murder me any second. I think that's what doesn't work for me in ODST.
Fair, and that's what I really did like about ODST is how different and cool it felt comparative to the rest of the series. So, I think again, it lands those things like that will land differently for different people, but I can appreciate that when done well.
Mhm. All right. Well, that is it for this week. That's all we got. So, Matt, thanks for hanging out with me. I know your apartment or house was burning down there at the
Mhm.
end, but luckily you survived. Can you let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, of course. You can find me on Twitter at Matt_Silversoul, and you can find me each and every week on Carpool Gaming's The PlayStation Drive, usually live 1 p.m. EST on Monday. So come hang.
I hear it's the only drive on Carpool Gaming, but
Pretty
I
much.
can't confirm. Can't confirm.
Maybe.
Uh, you can find me at the Muffin Mon on Twitter. It's a 1 and 7 I and an O and 7 A. Make sure to follow us at Save Game Media to stay up to date with all of our latest. Until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.